Welcome back to another video, and in today's video we have our Backlash 2026 results and review. Now this was a real improvement on pay-per-views from WWE. I feel like the pacing of the show was really well. The ads weren't as intrusive as both WrestleMania and previous pay-per-views, and this was just a really good show in general.
Yeah, it definitely was a lot better in terms of the ads. It felt, especially that first hour when they were on ESPN, we got through things a lot more quicker, which I think was definitely a nice touch. But yeah, overall the matches were solid and a solid night from WWE.
And we kicked this night off with a really good match, and that was Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins. And this is kind of like a return match for Braun Breaker. He's come back for a few weeks now, and obviously he's been interacting with Seth Rollins for the past few months. He went away with injury. Seth went away with injury. Now they're finally back, and they're finally putting this feud together. And I feel like it kind of paid off during this match. This was a really good match. They gave him a lot of time, which was something that I didn't really think would happen. Obviously, going into it, I thought there would be ads and all this sort of stuff, but it really wasn't like that. They had a lot of wrestling on the show, surprisingly, and this one was the one that got the most amount of time, even over the main event. So a very interesting time for Braun Breaker to kind of get that shine, because there's people like Obafemi and Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes and Javon Evans, all these new people who came after him that kind of took a lot of the excitement away from him, and I feel like now maybe he can start to gain some of that back.
Yeah, I'm glad that Braun Breaker was able to pick up the win in this match. I'm glad that he's hopefully able to I was hoping that he was gonna be able to move on after this and kind of start heading into a championship direction, but with Seth Rollins, he's already kind of stated that he is going to stay after him. He wants to hunt down the rest of the division now, so it looks like this story will continue, but I don't mind it too much as long as we kind of pick things up a little bit more. I feel like the story has been dragging. It's kind of the same narratives kind of going on, so now that we have both men healthy now, they're going to be on TV a lot more. Hopefully we get it a little bit more progressed, and Braun Breaker can really start standing out even more now, because I think it's about that time when we start prepping him up for a world championship match, whether that is him winning or losing. Who knows what the result of that will be, but yeah, hopefully he can still continue his momentum.
Yeah, that's probably the hardest part about all of this, because you want to see Braun Breaker with the title, we want to see Obafemi with the title, Roman Reigns, Jacob Fatu. There's a whole line of people, so it's gonna be interesting to see who's next to win these titles, because it does look like Jacob Fatu might be a person, because that's the next match I want to talk about is Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu. And the reason why I want to talk about this one now, even though it was the main event, is because this match, I don't feel like it lived up to the hype fully. Now this was a really good match. I did enjoy this match. There was a lot to kind of enjoy with this, to see the kind of violent side of Jacob Fatu and to see Roman Reigns in kind of like a vulnerable position, which you don't really see Roman Reigns in too often. But in particular, this match, I feel like they could have went a little bit further, maybe a stipulation or something. I'm sure it'll happen at some point. This isn't over by any means. We've seen Jacob Fatu attack Roman Reigns even after he did lose the match. But there was a really cool moments throughout it where Jacob Fatu kind of tosses Roman up to go for a Samoan backdrop. Roman Reigns hits him with the Superman punch, hits him with the spear. He kicks out of it. There was a moment where Jacob Fatu hit his big moonsault. Roman kicked out of it. There was a lot of those close calls where it looked like Jacob was going to win. It looked like Roman was going to win. But ultimately, Roman did end up winning after another Superman punch and spear. But Jacob Fatu put up a big fight. It was also kind of a weird thing, because whenever Roman Reigns did win, Jacob Fatu just popped up instantly and kind of just no-sold the whole match and just went on like a little rampage after. But this was a very interesting match, and I'm interested to see where they go after it.
Yeah, this one definitely surprised me. I felt like throughout this entire match, they were kind of giving each other their best shots. It felt like Jacob Fatu has kind of been known to be like one of the heavier hitters, but Roman Reigns always kind of was able to withstand that and kind of keep his momentum up as well. But yeah, this obviously isn't over, so I am interested in where it does continue on. The main thing was like the tongue and claw or whatever they're calling it. I like that Roman was like, as soon as Jacob went for it early in the match, he immediately started attacking the hand and kind of working that. I think that is something that you don't usually see Roman do. He does kind of go for like a more of a cinematic style instead of a more technical style, and kind of actually working down his opponents. But he did do a good job in this match, I will say. But yeah, it is a little bit interesting to see where we'll see Jacob to go after this, because like I said, it felt like this was the best that both men had to offer on the night. So it is going to be, if they happen again, will the results still be the same?
And up next we had Danhausen and his mystery tag team partner come out to go against The Miz and Kit Wilson. And Danhausen would make his entrance. He would come out, and the mystery box would be back once again, and he would come out with his car as usual, drive past the mystery box, but the mystery box this time had the words cloning machine on it. And we seen him on SmackDown. He was trying to put together some potions and things of that nature to make a clone. It didn't unfortunately work for him. Then he unveils the crate, and lo and behold, a mini housing comes out, and it was kind of like a shock to him. So obviously, to his surprise, he was hoping, or He was thinking it was gonna be someone his size, a normal wrestler, but it came out as Minihausen. So he looked really good. Minihausen looked really good, and Kit Wilson and The Miz sold it like no one else really can either. So this was a really good match, and I enjoyed it. I feel like it wasn't too intrusive with the amount of time that they got, coming at 11 minutes. Really good match with the amount of time they had.
Yeah, this was a cool little segment. I'm not going to act like I was over the roof about this one. I don't think it was necessarily bad. I will say I am surprised that the person who got the most time, in my opinion, who kind of stood out the most, was the person who's not even signed with the company. I feel like Minihausen definitely kind of stole the show, and kind of, I think, for me, kind of really just took it home. I think when you look at this match, I think a lot of people are going to remember Minihausen a lot more than you are going to be Danhausen, especially even considering this is, I'm pretty sure, Danhausen's first singles match, or not singles match, but first real match on a WPLE. So yeah, it's interesting to see that they did go down this route. I'm definitely kind of thought we were going to see a Jelly Roll kind of interaction, or CM Punk, someone who wasn't on the car, get on it some way, but they do this, not too bad. And yeah, like you said, it was a pretty short match considering all the other matches. So yeah, overall good job from Danhausen.
This was a really good. I enjoyed it for what it was. Obviously, some people, they won't like Danhausen's type character and stuff, but there's always comedy in wrestling. Even in AEW, we've seen comedy show up every now and again there, with the puppet from Mercedes Moné and Harley Cameron a while back. So there's always comedy in wrestling, and I feel like this was a good use of comedy with these people, because Danhausen is really over, and it is, unfortunately, even if you're an adult, it is unfortunately about the kids, and Danhausen is someone who's going to resonate with those kids a lot. And up next, we have the big John Cena mystery announcement. And this was kind of an interesting one, because I think people were expecting it to be a lot of different things. People are coming with a lot of different kind of speculations on what it can be. Is it going to be the next WrestleMania? Is it going to be a 2-night Royal Rumble? What can it be? But it was none of that. And this is something brand new. Now, for this tournament, this kind of series of matches, whatever this is going to be a John Cena classic, is what he called it. It is going to be main roster talent versus NXT talent, and there's also going to be a brand new WWE Championship kind of involved with this John Cena tournament. And with that, the fans will be able to vote to see who wins the champion, and every participant, including the losers, can be voted to be the winner of the champion. So this is very interesting. This is something brand new. You could tell that whoever it was that thought of this put a lot of thought behind it. I'm kind of curious how it'll play out, because I'm not thinking it'll be too great.
Yeah, kind of starting from the top, it being a new event, I think is something that could be pretty cool. If this is something that we're going to see that could kind of take the place of Saturday main events throughout the year, and be kind of like those kind of throw-in shows that we get sometime during the month. I wouldn't mind that, especially that it is a lot of matches, which I kind of don't think it will be. But the way I think he said it was that it would be on one night type of thing, and we'll see all these guys go, all these women and men, I believe, go at it. But then the next thing, obviously, main roster NXT talent being able to compete with each other. That's going to be really cool to kind of test some of these NXT talents that we want to see potentially get called up next year, like we did with Sol Ruka, Obafemi, Javon. I think that's a really good idea to do that. But then the new championship, that's where it gets kind of weird, because we've seen that in AEW with the Continental Championship, where it is kind of a tournament championship, but it gets seen a little bit here and there, but not that much sometimes. So I am interested in how that kind of gets corporate, will be around that same lines. But then obviously the biggest thing is the losers can still win the championship. I think you have to stick to some of the roots of actually being a winner to be a champion. So we'll see how that plays out. Who knows what's gonna be, but I guess when we get more information and when things actually get going with this John Cena Classic, we will see what the result will be.
Yeah, I'm already looking at this title more so as almost like a crown jewel championship more than anything. That's obviously not the route that they were hoping for, wanting people to think of it, obviously with someone with a big name like John Cena behind it. But that is kind of the level that I'm putting it on right now. But maybe they could change my mind on it, and maybe just on paper it looks a little cluttered, but they'll kind of reform it a little bit and kind of put it in our head of what it actually is, because we still don't know a lot of the details. So maybe they'll be like different. I don't know exactly how this will work, but I think it can be interesting, and I guess we'll have to wait and see, because we don't have a date for it. We don't know when it's going to happen, so I guess we'll find out at some point. And after we seen the funeral of the Gingerbread Man, the culmination of all of that storyline will be Trick Williams versus Sami Zayn at Backlash, with Lil Yachty and Trick Williams' corner. And this match, I feel like, was my second favorite match of the night. And my favorite is going to be the one we talk about next, but this match in particular was very, very good. I enjoyed the build to it. I know it was kind of like a controversial build. Maybe a lot of people were split on if they liked it or didn't like it, and the celebrities being involved. There's a lot of things with this that I see why people might not have liked it, but I did enjoy this for myself. I had a good time seeing Lil Yachty. I feel like he's a really good wrestling manager, surprising. I feel like when he first joined, we were all like a little bit like, okay, what is he going to do? How is he going to be involved? But he does kind of just fit in with Trick Williams. I do feel like he adds to Trick Williams' entrances and the things that he does in ring and the way that he does get himself involved. He took a haluva kick from Sami Zayn tonight. He does take moves and he gives them back as well. So there was a lot of good stuff to be kind of had with this whole thing going on with the Gingerbread Man and Trick Williams, and obviously Lil Yachty too. So this was just a very fun match. I had fun with it. The build was good to me, and yeah, I enjoyed pretty much everything about this feud.
The match here tonight, what felt like the final match between these two, at least for quite some time, I think it was a pretty good job. Obviously, like you kind of said, the build was what it was. I think there was definitely a better route you could have gone with these two guys. Sami Zayn is obviously a wrestling legend over the past 20 years, and then Trick Williams is somebody who's definitely going to be not obviously on the level of Sami Zayn, but is going to be a top name in the company for the foreseeable future. So I think there could be something that you could do a lot better. I think there's a better route you can go for the storyline reasons. But as for the match itself, I think it was done fairly well. We didn't get a real Sami Zayn heel turn, which I was expecting, although we did see him hit Trick Williams multiple times while the ref wasn't looking with a kendo stick. So I definitely think there is obviously more signs leading towards it, but it doesn't seem like Trick will be a full-on face and Sami will be a full-on heel after this program has kind of wrapped up now. But I do like the result of it. Trick Williams should have retained. He did. So yeah, everything for me is good. I just hope that Sami Zayn is able to walk away from this and kind of go into something else now to refresh himself, because I think right now Sami Zayn is definitely not a hot topic right now in the wrestling community, especially at least in the W fan base. So yeah, maybe we switch him up. Maybe we go send him back to Raw now, and we can do something else different for him now. But yeah, good that Trick won, and yeah, hopefully we see Lil Yachty and him continue to run supreme on SmackDown.
Yeah, Sami Zayn showed that he is a true pro with this match, kind of selling this whole gingerbread man and everything throughout it, and then during this match as well, just seeing the crowd just kind of boo him throughout the entire match and cheer Trick Williams. The kind of like in-ring psychology that Sami was going was, all right, they're booing me now, I'm going to let them continue booing me, and then at some point I'm going to have this big turn moment, which was the moment where he kind of hits Trick Williams with the stick behind the ref's back, but then Trick Williams would get his lick back when the referee would also have his back turned, and he would hit him with the trick shot to kind of end the match. So it was a very interesting match. I liked everything about it. Trick Williams came out on top, and I feel like that's the most important thing here. But on to the best match of the night, and that was Io Sky versus Asuka. And I think this is to nobody's surprise. When we seen these two names on paper, we knew that they would be amazing on the night, and they were. They ended up getting a whole lot of time as well. They got 18 minutes and 30 seconds, coming in over the main event once again. So the main event is actually the third match in terms of time tonight. But yeah, this was an amazing match. They deserved all the time. Obviously, what people are going to talk about the most is going to be Asuka after the match and kind of her crying and kind of embracing Io Sky. Is this the last bit that we're going to see from her? But before we talk about that, I want to talk about the match because it was that good. We've seen why Io Sky is known as the best women's wrestler in the world. And I feel like every time we see her, she proves that. And it's kind of the same with Asuka as well, because we put her on the level of Io Sky back when she was kind of in her prime with WWE. She's in the later half of her career now, and I think this was sort of like a passing the torch moment. I know a lot of people aren't really looking at it in that way, but that's kind of the way I took this whole Io Sky and Asuka thing at the end of the match. But the match was amazing, and I really, really enjoyed this. And hopefully this isn't the end of Asuka, because I really want to see more of her.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this match as well. Definitely my favorite match of the night. But yeah, this match definitely was weird, because throughout the entire match it felt like Asuka was kind of in control for most of it, but then Io Sky would kind of even it up a little bit, but then she wouldn't be able to kind of continue her momentum because obviously all the damage she's been taking from Asuka. So you kind of get that keep repeating, but it was towards the end where we'd see Asuka try to take out the mist, hit Io Sky with it, but they're on the announce table when this is going on, and Io ends up pulling out Wade Barrett's kind of notepad and kind of blocks it, which I think is really cool because it's something that's definitely very risky. She definitely could have mistimed it, and Asuka still could have hit her, so definitely a good job on their part on the timing. But yeah, that was a really cool moment, but then it sets up Io Sky to kind of really take momentum and hit that final form to get the win here. As for what happened after the match, I don't necessarily think it was kind of this retirement of Asuka. I think it would have been a little bit more prepared for that, and I think in saying that we wouldn't have seen Kairi Sane get a release as well. This is her true retirement. So I will say that I do think we'll see Asuka moving forward. But yeah, Io Sky getting the win is great. I hope we do see her back in that top form again, because she's somebody who I think could be a good opponent for Liv Morgan in the future. I know we've seen it a few times already, but another match would not hurt between those two. And yeah, overall good program. And I'm glad that the women, only though they got one match, they definitely delivered, and they definitely keep that good streak of having amazing matches on every single show.
And then one more moment that I also want to mention from this match that was like an amazing moment that I really enjoyed was Asuka goes for the Asuka lock. She gets Io in it, but Io reverses it, puts her in the Asuka lock, and it was kind of like a real moment where it did kind of feel like Asuka could tap out during that moment. They kind of built it up and it played out exactly how they wanted it to, and I really felt like that was going to be the end of the match. But that was just a really cool moment. Unfortunately, they had a spot where it didn't really work out on the best, but Io Sky goes for the moonsault, and Asuka wanted to catch her in the Asuka lock. She kind of overshot a little bit, or Asuka was a little bit up front a little too much, but it still looked amazing. She still kind of caught her. It wasn't terrible or anything, but this match, like we mentioned enough already, this match was amazing. I enjoyed it. We need to see more of this on WWE, more of women getting matches like this, having 18 minutes. I feel like if you give any of these women that's on the current main roster 18 minutes, I feel like all of them could give you banger matches. Maybe not on the level of this because it's Io Sky and Asuka, but at the same time, it could be real banger matches for Raws and SmackDown. So maybe this is a blueprint they could take and use it over there. Unfortunately, I do feel like this isn't how we're going to go forward with WWE pay-per-views being this little amount of ads. I do feel like this was a smaller WWE pay-per-view at a smaller show, at a smaller venue, whatever the case is. And once we get to the bigger pay-per-views like Money in the Bank and stuff, we'll be right back to the ads and stuff like that. So that's the unfortunate part about this. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I don't really think I am. But that's going to wrap up the video. We appreciate you guys for watching. Let us know what you thought of Backlash 2026, and we'll see you guys in the next one.